Hi, this is Nancy Morris with another extended version of the Morse Code. Today we're talking about decision making. One of the things that people often do is get themselves caught between decision A and decision B, and they end up sort of lying over the fence between the two decisions. Being able to make a decision and simply move things forward seems to be very difficult for many people. So in today's Morse code, the one entitled Decide To, when I was talking about decide to either fully commit to your current job or, get out of there. So that's a decision, right? Decision A is fully commit. Decision B is to leave. What a lot of people will do, though, is they'll sort of lie across that fence and wait and wait and wait, being miserable or being, at the very least, uncomfortable for quite a period of time. So decide and move on, because when you make a choice, it is really remarkable what happens next. Just deciding can put all sorts of wheels in motion. Now, of course, the pushback I get is that people will say to me, Nancy, I'm not very good at making decisions. It's difficult. So let's talk about that. Why is it difficult to make a decision? Well, there's a variety of reasons, but there's a couple of sort of really important ones which I want to talk about today. One of them is not being able to tolerate the idea of the not chosen option. So you really have sort of like two options, right? You've got what you choose and then what you don't choose. And you get anxious about the thing that you haven't chosen. Maybe you're going to worry about what you missed. So you didn't pick B. But then you're thinking, oh, well, if I don't pick B, what happens if, B becomes the better idea and maybe, it was the better car to buy or a better stock on the stock market. Oh, look, option B is going up, but the one I did choose is staying where it is. So the idea of something happening with the not chosen option will keep people from actually deciding. So they really don't choose anything. So that's a real problem. The anxiety that's created by the not chosen option. Another real problem for a lot of people is what we are familiar with, the phrase paralysis by analysis. The paralysis by analysis means that you're really thinking a lot about all the different options and all the different criteria within each option and all the different things that could happen. So you stay paralyzed. You make no decision at all. That analysis becomes your excuse. Well, I have to look at everything. I have to see, what fits and what doesn't. And that just keeps you stuck. And that's a form of procrastination because you have a concern about making the decision. So recognize paralysis by analysis for what it is, and that's an excuse to explain your procrastination. So one of the other reasons, of course, is that we have this definition of right and wrong. I have to make the right decision. Well, what we know in the science about defining right and wrong is that on the other side of a decision, so when the decision has been made, the definition or the labeling of something right or wrong, it doesn't matter anymore because you've already made the decision. Sure, if you decide, okay, it was a wrong decision, I'm going to change my mind and do the other thing, well, that redirects you and that's fine. But not making the decision because you're worried about what's going to happen after the decision related to right versus wrong is, again, just another excuse for staying where you are. Defining something as right or wrong is usually something we do in the rearview mirror. Oh, that was the right thing to do. Oh, that was the wrong thing to do. But let me ask you something. Before the decision was made, were you acting with integrity? Did you make the decision based on what you knew at that moment in time, not 20 minutes later or 20 years later? Did you make your best decision based on your integrity at that moment in time? That is the primary thing to remember when you're puzzled or pausing around making a decision. If you can stand there hand on heart and say, given what I know right now, this for me is the best decision I can make based on who I believe I am at this moment. When you do that, that gives you all the power you need to make a good decision. Don't worry about right and wrong, worry about good. Was this a good decision for me? If it's based on what you know and your integrity, then it's always an excellent decision. The key is simply to make a decision and move forward. If you need to adjust in future, that's fine. But make decisions, because again, the power of choice becomes remarkable when you make a decision. This is Nancy Morris with the Morris Code. Talk to you soon.